Roblox, a website designed for players of all ages to play, create, and share fun experiences with one another. A place for making friends and searching through the joyous cracks of your imagination. Such a fun and loving website such as Roblox is filled to the brim with happiness. However, did you know that Roblox also has a dark side? Well, I suppose I wouldn't exactly say dark. Obscure is more accurate. Within the depths of Roblox, you may come across individuals that you find strange. Are these bad people? No, they're simply obscure. But nonetheless, they're just like you and me. In fact, you may be part of one of these odd communities yourself. So let's start researching together and find out about the obscurities that Roblox has to offer. Hello, my Fumble family, and welcome back to the Kaden Fumblebottom YouTube channel. As you have now heard by that dramatic and pretty well-made intro. Good job, Zack. We are going to be exploring some of the most obscure, somewhat unsettling, and strange Roblox communities. Now, I do want to give it a little disclaimer. Some of these communities I'm very familiar with. One of these communities I created. Some of these communities I've never even heard of before today, and some of these communities I know somewhat about. This video was all made for fun, so I don't think anything against any of these people, but all of their concepts happen to be obscure. So let's dive into them and see just what makes them obscure. The first community out of all the obscure communities we're going through today is called the Phobias. And the Phobias is a new community on Roblox that spawned from a popular game genre called phobia games. Kaden, what are phobia games? Oh, God, you're so ugly. I'm you. Yeah. Anyways, phobia games are games that are made to scare you or enhance your phobia. So I don't recommend playing them if you legitimately have phobias. But if you don't, it's really interesting. Oh, that is really interesting. I know. Anyways, let's check it out. You may have heard of Roblox games that replicate phobias in the past, but recently groups started to form around this concept. This is the first group I've seen spawning out of that concept. It is called the Phobias, and there are already 820 active members. There is also a whole butt ton of phobias that you can check out underneath this group, much like the phobia games, but these ones are contained within a community of people who enjoy experiencing phobias. You can suggest concepts for phobias down below, and they may be made into a game, which may or may not be the most terrifying thing that you ever experienced, depending on your phobia. And I find that fascinating. So let's check out one of their games, shall we? What about Anthropophobia? That sounds like something relating to humans. Anthropophobia, the fear of people. I have that. Let's play. Disclaimer, I don't, I just have anxiety. Okay, here we are in the strange world of Anthropophobia. I see no people, so my human fear has not been activated quite yet. Oh no! I do see a people. Excuse me. People! Why does people no talk? So according to the description, the point of this specific fear game, or phobia game, is to make you feel uncomfortable when presented with people or not knowing where the people are in the server. So that actually completely makes sense. I think they did a really good job at capturing that essence, because as soon as you spawn in, you know that there's going to be people on account of the title is, you know, Anthropophobia. And then as soon as you get in here, you're instantly like, where are they at? Where are those greasy little people? And you don't see them at first. You really gotta look around at first. But then you start to see them. And if you approach them, nothing. Just a blank stare, staring at you judgingly. I think they did a good job at capturing this fear. Donuts! I didn't expect there to be donuts. This just got a lot happier. And the worst person of all, a store manager. No! I'm out of here! Despite me goofing around, I actually think this concept is quite fantastic. The concept of having phobias is very interesting. The concept of conquering those phobias via Roblox games is even more interesting. The next community I found is called Comunidad Hacker, and I think Comunidad is actually Spanish for community. Thanks, Siri! That being said, this is Community Hacker, which is obviously a remake of the much famous hacker group, Community. Now, I actually did randomly just come across this while searching through groups, and I just wanted to point this out because I find this strange that it's able to exist on Roblox. Here's the thing, you have someone in the shout directly targeting someone. It's like literally offering a bounty for their account. And you also have a description that reads, don't ask for Robux or I'll hack you. Don't ask for ranks, prove you're a good hacker, and thank you. So, maybe the threat isn't as threatening as we thought, but then again, the shout literally says, new target. Hack that username. Warning, she has two-step verification and her dad is a professional hacker. Your mission is to get into her account and unblock me from her account and then send me her friend request. If you do that, I will give you a prize of 400 million Robux. What? I mean, none of this is true. Do not believe this. If you see stuff like this, do not believe it. This is what I will give the thumbs down to. Don't target people's accounts or join groups that do that. That's an obscure community that I would throw in the garbage. The next community we have is quite a large community. I'm going to show you a specific group in this community, but the entirety of the community is not contained within this one group, but throughout the entirety of the Roblox website. That community is known as none other than the cult community. And I know that sounds very dark and scary, and well, sometimes it is, but at the same time, sometimes it's also very artistic and beautiful. That is to say, these aren't actual cults that you will give your life to or worship or do blood pacts with. I really hope not. But they are very interesting groups of people on Roblox that you can join and then follow if you want to in a fun kind of roleplay way. The one I'm showing you, for example, is called Cult of Vin, and it has 78,000 members, which means 78,000 Roblox cult members are actively living it up in the Cult of Vin. The description provides lore, and they have games to go with their cult. This all being said, I think this is an extremely obscure but really cool concept, because they're not forcing you to do anything, but if you want to,
you can dive right into the obscurity.
Vin is a psychic deity who has taken reign over a pocket dimension in the void. What are we? Creepy, cute, horror-oriented cult. Vin has called us into the Asylum, as we are ill. The Asylum sends and distress signals from your telephone line. Interesting. There is no way back. Learn to survive. Oh, that's dark. Hey, I hope you're enjoying this video of me talking about obscure Roblox things. If you enjoy obscure content, then please like this video and subscribe to my channel, because I've got a whole butt ton of it. And there's plenty more where this came from. Thanks. Ow! Ah, what did they just hit? We do have disturbing monsters and loud noises in game. Just a heads up. We hope you enjoy your stay. So that's oddly threatening and scary to read. I'm getting a few nervous sweats and maybe a few nervous farts. Take that maybe back. Definitely a few nervous farts. But that being said, they also have this message down here at the bottom that says, we offer professional resources for mental health on our social links and community of others who can relate and help you. Which sounds like a really wholesome and nice thing to do. So even a cult can have a sunshiny, positive side. Now let's jump into the Asylum and see what it's all about. Oh, okay. There is an eyeball. I am an eyeball. I shouldn't be concerned about this eyeball being here. Oh, the eye opened. The eye opens as soon as you join the game. That's so weird, but I like it. Okay, please make sure your audio is on. Everyone turn on your ears, please. Warning, this game contains loud sounds, jump scares, and flashing lights. I would care if I was a whip. Press and continue. Bye-bye. Oh my god, there's a blinking eye. It's staring at me. Okay, so in order to play, you have to press wake up, which then wakes you up within the Asylum. You could say I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Okay, whose bed is this? Where am I? All right, so here's what you got. You got a disturbing doll. Did I just hear glass break? You got a disturbing doll that you can hug if you're feeling lonely. Which I always am. So I'll be hugging this doll. And you got some chalky milk. What kind of asylum doesn't give you chalky milk? A bad one. So this is a great one, don't you worry. I can see why they threw me in here. I do kind of got crazy eyes. There's also some very interesting drawings on the wall. I mean, obviously a very good artist sketched these up. Who's that long, tan, and handsome figure? I'd like to meet the artist who drew that. Anyway, apparently it's lunchtime as there is now a picture of meat for my cursor. Cool. Now everybody's running into a pastel weirdcore styled childhood themed asylum that has an eyeball that blinks. Good, I'm glad this is happening. Oh, it's a wall of meat. Ah, yes. The wall of meat. Let's go slap it. Wow, that's some good meat slapping sound. Oh, and look, it's a cake with teeth. It's a cake with teeth. God, why? Which I find pretty interesting, not gonna lie. Can I munch up on it or not? So you can actually communicate with the players in here. You can make friends with them, like this disturbing doll person is asking to be friends with this other disturbing doll person over here. Or you can be antisocial and shove yourself in the freezer. But all in all, this game offers an obscure community full of interesting role players and people with awesome ideas that need to flourish. So purchase yourself a shank, buy yourself a demonic doll, and have yourself a good time in the Vin Cult / Asylum. I approve of this obscure community. I think I'll return here for a video in the future as well. Check out the Asylum down in the description below if you'd like to. I just wanted to quickly throw this community in here. It's not all that obscure, but at the same time, it's fascinating. So I just wanted to mention it real fast. It's called the Library Community. Roblox librarians are a thing. As you can tell by their allies, there is another Roblox library group, so there is a community around this that's not centered just around one group, but a few. And inside of this game, people can write their own full-length books or short stories of any length and publish them. You can then go in here and read those stories that those players wrote, which I think is an absolutely fascinating concept. You yourself can also write a story if you'd like. But for example, we have this one, Eclipses. Let's click on that. Eclipse. Oh, I have 3 copies of Eclipses now. By Ugly Aesthetic. Cool name. Begin reading. And wow, okay, there's chapters in here. There's an index and chapters and everything. Like, if this isn't cool, I don't know what is. Which, well, I don't, because I'm a loser. Now let's check out the final community of today's obscure community video. And the final community that I'm sure you all saw coming is known as the Myth community. A community that I started up with a few friends of mine back in 2011 and very much cherish to this day. Now, the Roblox Myth community is perhaps the most popular of these communities that I've shown in today's video, but that's because it's been featured in a lot of YouTubers' videos, and a lot of people from the creepypasta community moved on to Roblox and saw this and were like, hey, that's cool. So you probably already know about this community, but when it comes to obscure communities, you have to mention the myths. Because there is no side of Roblox that is as obscure as the Myth community, in my opinion. On account of the Myth community is no specific subject, it's not just scary clowns, though there is a sub-community of myth clowns, such as the Circus in the Sky, Clowns of the West, the Clown Mafia, you name it, they're all out there.
Honking their horns.
But the Myth community has a strange amount of depth to it. There are plenty of subcategories within it. So whether you're a clown, or you make an interesting obscure town type of game, such as Hollowville, or maybe Grocery Gang, there's always an obscure adventure to be had. So I have 2 games pulled up to show you just as an example real fast of some of the most obscure and strange myth places that I know of. I have shown one of these in the past, which is called Meat Circus, but this one I've never shown. So without further ado, let's take a trip to Radville, an obscure Roblox game that I adore. What I love about the Myth community is it's not ran by RMH or the group that I created, but it has expanded into plenty of other myth groups, as you can see by these allies of RMH. There are tons of different myth communities and groups out there, and there's no telling what sort of obscure experiences they can offer. That all being said, I do want to take this opportunity to quickly explain something to everyone. A myth is just something that invokes curiosity. It is a story, and whatever the creator of that story wants to make of it is the myth itself. So if somebody says they're a myth, they're a myth. They could be the most normal person ever, but they have some sort of obscurity or curiosity behind them because they themselves have claimed that they're a myth. That alone is enough to be a myth. The rest is up to you to figure out just why they're a myth and what unique features that myth carries. That all being said, welcome to Radville, one of the coolest Roblox places I've ever seen. A very interesting place that's currently on hiatus, but I just wanted to take a quick walk and show you around. Radville is one of those obscure town games that I was talking about, kind of like Hollowville, kind of like the Grocery Gang inspired type games, but even more obscure. To start with, there are these people, like Cool Dude. Heyo, it's me, Cool Dude. And you can talk to them! They say really interesting stuff, all covered by a grainy, obscure filter that covers the entire game. And while some people could get bored after talking to random NPCs in an obscure town that looks like it comes from my nightmares and or dreams, I for one think this concept is absolutely fascinating. There are small details that make this world so different from any other world in Roblox, and that's what I love about it. For example, this guy. That guy. Hey kid, I'm Mr. Sketchy. I moved into this town recently because no one accepts me. Everywhere my crew and I have moved, we've been kicked out because we are apparently sketchy. My answer to that is, yeah, we're sketchy because we're literally drawings. It's funny. If you ever need some help, I'll be here. And that is a prime example of obscure, strange,
And downright awesome.
Radville. You get my thumbs up of approval. But unlike Radville, there are also games that have a bit more of a direct approach as far as being spooky and obscure go. One of those games, for example, would be The Meat Circus. Oh boy, The Meat Circus, my favorite! Which is a game in which you adventure through a circus made of body parts, meat, carcasses, all the good things. I absolutely hate this game, but it's fantastic. I mean, it's obscure in a fantastic way. And you can even sit around and bounce around on meat swings. So, I mean, who doesn't want to do that?
Most people, I would hope.
This all being said, Roblox has a lot of obscure communities to explore. So whether you're diving into the myth community, joining a Roblox cult, hopefully not hacking people, writing full books and publishing them to the website, or experiencing your greatest fears by choice, there's always an obscure, strange, and oddly fun experience to find on Roblox. Check them all out in the description below, and please let me know if you like this video by liking this video and subbing if you haven't already, and turning on your notifications, because that does help me out a whole butt ton. Until next time, my Fumble family, thank you for watching. Now, obscure slap.